Hi, everyone. It's Stella Grizont with Work Happier Weekly, where we talk about how to work happier, live better, and thrive. And I want to take a moment to just share this. Ah, can I share this? I'm going to go ahead and share this. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Sandy. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, you guys. All right. I really want to share this with Whoopa, and I'm realizing I am having trouble doing this. Here we go. All right, I think I shared it with folks at Whoopa. Oh, Sean, you're on. Great. Sean is my saving grace on the team. Sean, can you make sure I shared this with Whoopa? I don't think I did with the Whoopa page. All right, you guys. So today's topic uh, is really important. And I know so many people, and I have totally dealt with imposter syndrome. When I first launched Whoopa, which was designed to help bring people alive and make them happy, I was collapsed on the couch, pigging out on Nutella, watching marathons on Netflix and sabotaging my own business. So I was the opposite of everything I was promoting. And I felt like a real imposter. And so I have totally felt this myself. And I work with clients all the time on how to deal with imposter syndrome. So let's just talk about what is imposter syndrome. Well, it's essentially when you feel like you're faking it. It's when you feel like any moment now, they're going to find out that you're not the real thing. And it is a very crippling sensation because you spend so much time in angst around feeling judged or worried about being something that you're not and pretending that that energy actually is taken away from your being focused on the work in front of you and being of service. And so what ends up happening is because you're exhausted by the constant mind games, you're not actually being present and doing what you need to do. And so it's kind of like this self-fulfilling prophecy of insecurity. And so the good news is that this can totally be alleviated. Hey, Adelaide, it's so good to see you. So here's what I want to do today. I'm gonna break this topic up into two pieces. And so tonight I want to talk about the three main drivers of imposter syndrome and start to give you some solutions. And then next week, we're going to continue this as well. And as you know, I like to keep these puppies pretty short. So let's dive in. So, the three drivers that I've witnessed of imposter syndrome, the first being that you just it's around mindset. So a sensation that you're lacking confidence. And this is what most clients identify with. It's like, I'm just not confident. I've always been this way. I've always questioned myself. Now, here's the thing with this driver of imposter syndrome. If you have dealt with a challenge of the magnitude you're dealing with now, if you have had success in the past, if you have the technical skills to do what you need to do, then the good news is that you're not dealing with a level of incompetence. What you're dealing with is a misdirected feedback loop. And so the good news is that what you can do to start to alleviate your experience of imposter syndrome is to, one, get really clear on what is your unique definition of success. What is it like when you are being who you want to be, right? Not being the success that you're expected to be, but what is the best version of you like, and getting really clear on that. and then creating small, tiny ways for you to act in alignment with that. So one way that you can do this is to do the vision generator exercise that I always love to offer here. It's a free exercise. Here, let me go ahead and type it here. What the vision generator exercise will help you articulate is, what is it like when I'm being my best? And what is it like when I'm in my most alive state? And the reason why you want to be clear on this is because if you are acting in alignment with that, then what you will start to witness is how powerful you are in creating your own experience. And that is where you derive an authentic sense of confidence. It's in demonstrating to yourself that you actually have control over your experience. Okay, so the link here is visiongenerator.com. And you guys can grab that. That's a free exercise. Okay, so that's so when you take action in alignment with your values and your vision, and you are giving yourself that feedback. So what I do with my clients is I have them pick 3 questions that they want to track every day around how they're being. And what happens is it points your attention towards the stuff you're controlling and how you're making progress on what matters most to you. And usually that has to do with your being of service, making an impact, creating meaning, connecting deeply with others. And so when you're witnessing that, you're giving yourself positive feedback. And oftentimes we're missing that from our workplaces, but that doesn't mean you can't create that for yourself. By the way, there's a whole nother Work Happier weekly segment on how to ask for the feedback and appreciation you deserve. So that's also something you can do. So that's driver number 1, is just a lack of confidence. Driver number 2 is a lack of skills. So if you don't have the chops, if you are being set up to fail, if you haven't been taught how to do what you need to do, or you're overwhelmed and you have too much on your plate, well, then that is a legitimate reason for concern, because that means you either need some training, some help, some mentorship of some sort. And so for you, the key is to actually ask for that. And I know that is vulnerable, because for many of you who might be in this position, that feels like you're admitting defeat or weakness. But here's the deal. If you're hiding and you're scrambling and you're in deep stress and burning yourself out because you just don't have the tools or the training to do this, then you're actually not only compromising your own your own performance, but you're also compromising what's expected of you and your contribution to the team. And so what I like to encourage folks to remember, instead of this being about an ego thing, position it as a team thing and how you might be of better service to your manager or to the team, and bring it up that way and say, hey, I realize that this is the expectation of me, and I'm starting to realize that I might not have the best tools or resources to do this most efficiently. Could you show me how you think is the best way to do X, Y, and Z? Or could you partner with someone who has a really successful way of doing this? So those, just to kind of get started. So the question is, how might I get the resources, the help, the mentorship, the instructions to do what I need to do? Okay. And then the third driver of imposter syndrome is a lack of psychological safety. So psychological safety is, or a lack of psychological safety at work, means you're not free to speak up. You're not you're not you're punished if you're disagreeing with the status quo. You're afraid of being wrong. And so when you can't fully be yourself or disagree, then the challenge is you can't be your whole self. And when you can't be your whole self, feeling like an imposter or like you're faking it is a natural outcome of that. And the reason why you're faking it is because everyone else is too. Because you're in an environment where no one feels safe to be themselves, to ask critical questions, to suggest better solutions. And if everyone is faking it, then you feel a sense to do that too. And so, for this conversation around psychological safety, I'm actually going to continue this next week, and I'm bringing in an expert in psychological safety who is an executive coach, positive psychologist, organizational psychologist, and who happens to also be one of my best friends who I love dearly. Her name is Lisa Zagarmi, and we're going to dedicate a whole segment to talk about how to establish psychological safety at work for yourself and for others. So, with that, do you guys have questions, specific scenarios, anything that you'd like me to tend to while we're here live? I'm going to just give some updates on what's coming up. And if you come up with anything, feel free to put them in the comments. And if you like this video, love this video, go ahead and do that and share it with maybe someone who needs it. And I want to tell you guys about some things that are coming up. On June 26th, I will be doing a free webinar in partnership with Happify.com, talking about how to speak up for yourself if you're non-confrontational, and that actually might be actually a really nice combo with this topic because it is risky, right, to speak up especially when you're feeling insecure. So I will be sharing the link for that through my newsletter. So if you're not in my newsletter, I don't have the link right now basically, but I think I should have it in the next week or so. So if you're not on my newsletter right now, you can just go to whoopa.com. And if you scroll to the bottom, you can join the newsletter there. Also, I have some space this summer before things ramp up with a lot of corporate engagements where I can do some free strategy sessions. And strategy sessions are a chance for you and I to talk for about half an hour or so, where I can specifically help you with your situation, right? Because I'm giving you some advice, but your situation is unique, right? And so I always try to at least once every few months open up my calendar to talk with folks who could use some support. So if you are interested in speaking to me about your challenges, your insecurities, then go ahead and sign up for a strategy session to speak with me. You can do that at workhappinessmethod.com/apply. And so I'll talk to you. And usually when I speak to someone, we can pretty quickly get to some really actionable steps. Maybe we can even script out what you should say or some things that you should do to help alleviate your challenges right now. So that's a really valuable opportunity. And if you're interested in working together, we can also talk about that then too. So, with that said, any questions, you guys? Okay, beautiful. Well, if you do, you can always email me, stella@whoopa.com, or book a strategy session and we can talk more. And just remember that your life is too precious, your talent is too great, the people in your life are way too important for you to waste another moment, another hour, another day feeling miserable, feeling bored, feeling stuck at your job. That's where you spend most of your waking hours, and we want to make it work for you. So Thank you for joining me today. And we'll be back on next week with one of my favorite people to talk about psychological safety. If you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of these as well. All right, take care. Good night.